here as among our lawmakers. You got the squad who outside AOC has been kind of mellow on this, but just doubling and tripling down on the Palestinian Hamas cause with no inhibitions, especially yesterday.
Listen to a little bit of what she said yesterday.
A lot of people are not going to forget this. And it's not a threat. And that's what's been really painful. It's just continue to watch people think it's okay to bomb a hospital with children. You know what's so hard sometimes is watching those videos and the people telling the kids don't cry. President Biden, not all America's with you on this one. And you need to wake up and understand that. We are literally watching people commit genocide and killing the vast majority just like this. And we still stand by and say nothing.
All this passion is based on a lie. And she knows it's a lie. And she's taking the talking points from Hamas. Now, compare what she's saying right now to what Hillary Vaughn did when she tried to confront her. By the way, Hillary Vaughn stood outside her office about 3 to 4 hours, and the congresswoman went around her. So she waited a little bit more. There were no tears for the kids that were beheaded. There were no tears for the folks that had been raped. There was none of that. There was even not an address to the American people. But Rashida Tlaib is not the only one. This has become a major problem for the Democratic Party. Mehdi Hassan wrote this, and I think everybody should pay note to this. He said this on Twitter. There will be a significant number of Arabs, Muslims, and young voters who will sit out in 2024 or vote for Cornel West instead of Joe Biden in states like Michigan and Georgia, given his near one-sided support of Netanyahu's far-right government atrocities. So the Democratic Party and the progressive side, they're split right now. And all the activists in media and everywhere, Rashida Tlaib, they're warning the president. They're threatening the president. If you don't shift on this issue, Ainsley, then we're not going to vote for you.
Yeah, there are a lot of Democrats that are Jewish, and they had a problem with this. You had Congressman Brandon Williams. I don't know if he's Jewish or not, but he represents New York, where so many Jewish individuals live. And he went to this as a counter-protest, and he held up an Israeli flag. You had Congressman Jerry Nadler, who blasted this group, and he wrote on X that this group seeks to end Israel as a Jewish and democratic state. And the Anti-Defamation League had a problem with it, describes the Jewish Voice for Peace as a radical anti-Israel activist group that advocates for a complete economic, cultural, and academic boycott of the state of Israel. There were others that were saying, why January 6th do you throw people in solitary confinement or behind bars for decades, and you allow this to happen, and you arrest them, and probably the fine will be $10 to $20, they said, and they'll be back out on the streets doing this again. So they're just talking about justice, and it's one way for Democrats and a different way for Republicans.
Tlaib doesn't back off and condemns the president. Ilhan Omar condemns the bombing of the hospital, and then she comes back and says, our office cited an AP report. IDF has since found out they didn't hit the hospital. Our intelligence backs it as a reminder that information is often unreliable and disputed in the fog of war. No kidding. You should keep that in mind. I didn't urge you to put that tweet out. But then Washington Examiner comes out and says neither of these elected officials bothered to find out the truth or even listen to the IDF had to say, nor did they ask for any evidence from the terrorist organization to support the claims he was making. Instead, these two members of Congress immediately spread Hamas lies to promote their own political goals by spreading that and refusing to retract the terrorist propaganda even after it became clear that it was false. Tlaib and Omar show they want violence to expand everywhere. They're against this. They don't even acknowledge, for the most part, what happened on the border of Gaza on October 7th. They want to go pro-Palestinian. Scary to me is a lot of people agree with them.
100%.
And I'm looking at Times Square, and I'm looking in Germany, and I'm seeing UK, and I'm seeing Spain, and I'm seeing the Arab world. They have no interest on the surface in understanding who the offender is.
Even when they have the evidence. Al Jazeera even said the rocket was fired at the hospital within the walls of Gaza. Then there are those two Hamas operatives that are on the phone, and they're saying we take responsibility for this. There's no crater in the ground, and now they're saying the hospital's standing, that it actually landed in the parking lot and there was a fire, and they're questioning whether or not that's just propaganda. Did 500 people die?
They have to stop telling us, Brian, when there's people that are in the street with Hamas flags, when there's people that are openly calling for jihad, that they don't stand with Hamas. and that they're peaceful people,
Can't have it
then
both
why
ways.
are you having their flags in the middle of your protest?
Gotcha.
Why aren't you kicking these people out?